Hi, this is Keith with PhoneReview.com, and today we're going to talk about Straight Talk coverage maps. You wouldn't think you would need a whole video just to talk about coverage maps, but with Straight Talk it's a little bit tricky because they don't actually own the cell phone towers. They buy or lease time from other carriers such as AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, and T-Mobile, and then they resell that time. And so depending on which phone you get, your coverage area will be different. And so, but there's a little trick you can do that I'm going to show you that you can make sure you know which carrier will be your phone will work on. So when you buy a Straight Talk phone, which carrier's towers is that phone going to run on? There's a little trick you can do. But first, let's take a look at the coverage maps and see why it's important. Because over here, this one says Straight Talk Android. That really means Straight Talk Sprint. If you get a phone that runs on Sprint, and all the Sprint phones right now are Android phones, it's going to have this more limited coverage area. Where over here, this map is kind of a morphed together map of AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. So it's not maybe 100% accurate, but it gives you a pretty good idea of the kind of coverage area that you get if you get a Straight Talk non-Sprint. It's going to run, the map's going to look more like that. So the way you can tell is that at the top of this description for this video, there's a link that will take you to the official Straight Talk website, where the page where you can enter your zip code and see which phones are available in your area. So that page is going to look something like this. And so for the sake of this example, I am going to feel richer, which is Straight Talk's little tagline now, and I'm going to say that I live in 90210, which is Beverly Hills, so I feel richer already. And if you look, then you enter the zip code, and here's all the phones that are available in this area. So let's say I like the LG Optimus Black. It's this really slick phone, but which coverage area is it going to be on? Is it going to be it's Android, so is it going to really have that Android coverage area or not? So let's figure out how this works. So if you come up to the top here to see your URL, one thing to notice is the zip here tells you the zip code, so that's the zip that we entered. And but then over here, this market has these little codes, and it tells these codes stand for the different carriers. And so this is how you can know which carriers cover your area. And so let's take a look at what these codes mean. So GSM 4 means AT&T, GSM 5 means T-Mobile, SPR means Sprint, and CO equals Verizon. So if I come back up here and look, then I see GSM 4, so AT&T is in this area, SPR, Sprint, and CO is for Verizon. So if I want to see only the phones that are AT&T, let's say that AT&T has really good coverage at my house, better than the others. I really want to make sure I get an AT&T phone, so I can enter just the GSM 4 and hit enter, and then it's only going to show me the phones that are AT&T. See, for example, the LG Optimus Black is not in the list anymore, but over here is the ZTE Merit, which is still an Android phone, Android 2.3. So I might want this Android phone that has the better coverage area with AT&T than Sprint. And so that's one way to use this trick, is to see which phones are going to run on which carrier in your area. And so if we look over here, and we'll go ahead and type in SPR just to see only the Sprint phones, and we look and we see all these Android phones, and one of them is the LG Optimus Black. So that's the other way you can use this trick, is if there's a phone that you really want this LG Optimus Black, but you want to make sure which carrier's towers it's going to run on, you can go up here and enter these codes one by one, and then see which one your phone shows up under. So It didn't show up under the GSM-4, so I know it's not AT&T, but I enter SPR for Sprint, and it shows up, so I know that this one's going to be a Sprint phone. So that's the couple of ways you can use to make sure that you're getting the phone you want on the carrier that you want. And so we do a little recap here. Here are the codes again. GSM-4 is AT&T, GSM-5 is T-Mobile, SPR is Sprint, and CO is Verizon. So to just go through the steps again real quick with my fancy graphics here. What you want to do is click on the link in the description at the top of the description of this video. That'll take you to the page on the Straight Talk website where you can enter and confirm your zip code. And then you'll want to look in that URL to make sure you know which carriers are available in your area, because if Straight Talk is not offering AT&T phones in your area for some reason, then you probably don't want to order one because it probably won't work. And so, but then what you can do is you can modify that market section of the URL to put in the code for which carrier you want, so you can see the phones that are carried that will run on each carrier's towers one by one. And so then that might help you pick the phone with the coverage that you want. And then you need to remember that the Sprint coverage area is more limited, so that's just something to watch out for. And then a whole other program is the Straight Talk SIM card program, which is where you can buy just the SIM card to put into an unlocked iPhone or something like that, whatever other phone you want to buy, but it has to run on AT&T or T-Mobile. And that's a whole other program, but if it's something you already know about and you're interested, just know that those Straight Talk SIM cards are going to run on AT&T or T-Mobile. So that's it, and I hope you found this helpful, and I hope it helps you make sure you get the phone that you want, and that you'll know in advance before you order it which carrier's towers it's going to run on, so you can know for sure that it has the coverage area that you want.